Hello, I'm the official name raider. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Magnemite, Magneton, and Magnezone. Magnezone is now our first official step into Sinnoh, so this will be on the Sinnoh playlist along with Kanto. Okay, so NRG, I didn't click in at first. It's one of those things you gotta say out loud before you understand it. Do I think it's bad? No. Do I think it's good? No. It's there. I don't necessarily mind it. It exists. Magnamaster, stupid. Silverbolt, I don't really have an opinion on that. Honestly, my mind thinks of Firebolt from Harry Potter, so I'm like, okay, I guess that's on the same wavelength. It also sounds kind of like one of Santa's rejected reindeer, maybe. Magnus dumb, Cybershock, I feel like that's kind of on the level of, I want to sound really cool, guys, I swear I'm cool. My Nidoking is named Crusher, so I don't really care for it. Okay, I'll acknowledge Area 51, but immediately upon reading it, I realized the biggest problem with it is that it's going to fit, I can't pronounce its name off the top of my head, but the little alien dude from Gen 5, it's like B-E-Heman or something like that. The spelling trips me out. I'm still not used to that one. I need to hear it pronounced first. But I feel like Area 51 would fit that better, but a lot of people seem to think Magnezone is a spaceship. Personally, I don't like Magnezone's design. I think Magnemite and Magneton was better. Could have just made it 5 and it would have been better, but like they took this route, which is total opposite, so whatever. Magneto, I mean, I don't think there's going to be another Pokemon that's going to fit Magneto any better than the Magnemite line. I mean, the closest you could get is Plusle and Minun, and I think that's kind of a stretch, so if you like Magneto, this is probably the only one that's really going to work. I'm going to acknowledge this one because I feel like we're going to be seeing it not just today, but in other episodes, and we get it. You're 12 years old. I don't mind Quicksilver. I think it is a good sounding name, but I also think that it's like a brand of shoe or something. So that's like the downside is I'm 99% sure there's a company that uses Quicksilver as a name, but in general, Quicksilver is a nice name. Alright, GLaDOS, because I know that's on the spreadsheet, just saw it when opening it, but yeah, it was high time for Portal and all that, so if you're a fan of that, you can do that. Do I think it fits? Not even a little bit, but somebody out there did. You know, Triforce isn't going to work when you evolve it, if you evolve it, so that's just a little thing to keep in mind. And there is actually a benefit to keeping Magneton the way it is, because I'm pretty sure it loses speed upon evolution, so if you care more about its speed, then it actually is worth keeping Magneton. Trinity works on the exact same wavelength, and again, I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing similar things later with other Pokemon that come in 3s. Now, I like System of a Down, but because of character limit, it just says System Down, which, I mean, I don't know how many people are going to tie to the band, or if they're just going to think that, like, a computer crashed or something. So, I mean, you tried. You were, like, halfway there, technically. Just, like, another 3 characters and you'd be perfect. Again, I'm totally fine with naming Pokemon after bands. System of Down is one I've never even considered before, and that's probably entirely because of character limit. Tesla is one I see very often with electric types. Apply it to anybody, it'll fit. You're going to see everybody use it, though. I'm actually okay, I'm halfway okay with Clank. Firstly, I think it's just a good name in general, but it doesn't resemble Clank, and I'm trying to think on if there's anyone that does, and I don't think so? So I guess it kind of doesn't matter, but like, I think Clank in general could probably just be applicable to any steel type, just about, because that's, oh, Clank, damn. Except for that one. Don't do it for that one. Watts is a, it's going to be one you can apply to any generic electric type you want to. Throw it to anyone, it doesn't matter. I also started thinking of Watt from Paper Mario, and I'm trying to think if there's anyone that resembles that design as well, and I'm not entirely sure there is. I'm okay with RoboCop. That's pretty, that's more original than anything I've seen so far, and by that I mean you're the only one I've seen say that. It also kind of reminds me of the turret from Perfect Dark. And that's a really weird connection to draw, but it also makes sense because I know it's like, it resembles Magnezone in that way, and it's associated with a police stealth kind of thing, so there you go, RoboCop, and if whatever that drone from Perfect Dark is, those could work. Alright, I had to pull this up, because again, I don't know how to pronounce this idiot's name, but Roswell, that works for this idiot right here. B-he-yem. I can never remember how it's pronounced, I can never remember how this stupid idiot is spelled, but this guy. This was what I was trying to talk about earlier when I was talking about stupid Area 51. If it's that better, Roswell works, but I mean, it's also kind of very on the nose, but that's, I don't know, I feel like a lot of those alien nicknames just work better for him than Magnezone do. That's just my personal opinion. You can do what you want, you're a big boy, or girl, or adult, or maybe even a teenager, who cares? Stop arguing with me. Go to your room. Also, I'm sorry, I gotta talk shit real quick. Marfa is the stupidest name for a city I think I've seen in my life. Like, when I was 6, I made up the word Marf, M-A-R-F, and the idea that that is literally just one letter away from what I said as a small baby child really disappoints me, so whoever named that city is dumb. If you're from that city, I'm sorry, but that's a dumb name. Rumblepack? I actually really like that. That's incredibly stupid, but that made me laugh. So props for being incredibly original. So we were here on the Rapidash episode, but this also mentions Magnezone and the idea of naming after dams. Like, that's at least different and all that. I'm not gonna lie, when I see Hoover, I think more along the lines of Herbert Hoover. So probably not the best, and this also kind of looks like Calvin Coolidge too. So in a weird way, maybe it's intentional that the dams were named after political figures? I don't actually know, I've never done the research. Flux, that's not a bad name. I mean, it's different, you could apply it to any electric type you wanted to, it's perfectly fine. Not really too much to say about it. I've seen Starscream before, but I've seen it mostly for Skarmory. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just not a Transformers fan, so it doesn't apply to me. But there you go, I guess, if for whatever reason that applies to you. I gotta be real, the weirdest fucking thing about this is seeing stuff like this. Who goes on these sites and puts this here? Because this is super, super common with Nick Finder, and I don't understand it. Like, isn't it? Yeah, like right here. Why are we picking on this? Magnezone ozone? That won't fit, you dummy. But anyway, Swagnezone. I've seen that just a second ago, and no. But I guess if you are being ironic, then sure, whatever. But I still think that's stupid. Okay, so I don't think this has anything to do with nicknames, so I'm not clicking on it. But in other words, we've looked through everything, and upon doing it, I've realized how incredibly common Magneto is. But again, there's not really any other Pokemon I think Magneto will fit, so you get a pass on that, but just know that everyone else is doing it too. So, checking the spreadsheet real quick. Alright, so I know the name PK Sparks. I didn't know that he was the mascot. I thought it was like an Earthbound move or something that the dude named himself after or whatever, but there's that. Alright, there's a bunch here, and a lot of it's kind of like a history lesson. So it's like, hey, you want to know who did this thing, and that thing? And it's like, okay, we're going off like people who innovated electricity. Very nice. But I don't really have anything particularly special to say about any of them. They're there. I don't really care about them, but they exist. A lot of people have a lot of ideas. I don't think that Magnezone was a bust. I didn't feel the need to write any of the ones we went over down, so, the one I liked the most out of everything we saw was Rumble Pack, honestly. I just thought that was really funny. And I'm trying to think if there's, like, a better Pokemon that could fit. Like, who's someone who constantly shakes or vibrates or something like that. If there is a Pokemon like that, I'd have to think. Then Rumble Pack is, without a doubt, the perfect name for it, and I will definitely use that because that's hilarious. In other words, the only other one I saw, and I'm pretty sure this was looking up through a different session of looking up nicknames, was I saw someone suggest Foo Fighter for Magnezone, and I'm okay with that because it's a reference to, like, I'm pretty sure what they considered UFOs for a time. They called them Foo Fighters. It's also a fighter jet, I'm pretty sure. And then there's the band, so it's got a lot there. The one I personally used was heavy metal. Now, there's better choices out there for this. For instance, Steelix. I'm pretty sure Steelix is the heaviest steel type. Or even Metagross, I'm pretty sure is heavier than Magnezone as well. So that's just... It's not the most fitting in terms of literal definition of heaviness and metal. But I didn't do it for that. I did it because heavy metal music. And it just was like, hey, that makes sense. So that's what I did. It's not bad. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's particularly great, but I think it's, at least it's not Magneto where the entire population is using it, so I at least stand out from the crowd. But yeah, it's been okay. There wasn't really anything that was so stupid or embarrassing that I lost my mind. Again, the worst was the Tumblr guy, but his was a split between good idea, bad idea, okay idea, so it kind of like equilibriumed itself. Anyway, provides your suggestions for Magnemite, Magneton, Magnezone, and keep the discussion going. Thumbs up the comments that you like, and yeah, let's make good nicknames or whatever.